time for another cook along with me. Today you will need some tomatoes, half an onion, 3 cloves of garlic, a pot of mixed herbs, some olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, and you'll also need some bread. You will need a pot to put everything in and a knife to chop up our ingredients. We're going to start off by taking a handful of tomatoes out of our punnet. You can use as many or as little tomatoes as you like. I used about half the punnet here. So now I'm just going to chop them. Be careful with the knife, especially with these, because they're really tiny and they're very easy to slip on. So I chop them in half and then I chop them in 3. So there's 6 little pieces of tomato. And now repeat this with all of your tomatoes. So now we are going to chop the onion, but first we have to peel it. I'm using a white onion. However, you can use a red onion if you'd prefer. They are a little bit less acidic and have a little bit of a milder taste, especially if you don't like onion. So I've just peeled it and now I'm going to chop it in half, minding my fingers. And then I'm going to take one half of it and I'm going to chop it into small sections. So I chop across the top first and then I go sideways. Please do mind your fingers as you get closer to the end. We don't want anyone chopping off the tips of their fingers now. Next we are taking our lovely cloves of garlic. We are going to peel our garlic and then we are going to do as we did in the guacamole video and crush it. Then chop it into tiny little pieces so it mixes in really well. Nobody wants to bite into a massive chunk of garlic. It's not too pleasant, but in little tiny chunks it mixes in really well and adds an amazing flavour to the dish. Next up, we're going to pour all of our ingredients into our Tupperware pot, like so. Next, we are going to add in our mixed herbs. Now, I just finished off my pot as there wasn't much left. However, I would add around a tablespoon in, which will make it taste really lovely. Then we are going to grab our olive oil. Now I measure olive oil in caps, so I added 2 caps worth to this dish. And lastly, we are going to add our balsamic vinegar, which is absolutely lush. This brings out the taste in the tomatoes. Now, bruschetta is an Italian dish, or as they say in Italy, they call it bruschetta. So the balsamic vinegar makes it a little bit different than just tomatoes on toast. Have to make sure the lid is firmly on, and then we give the pot a big shake, do a little dance, have a little dig. This will make sure all the ingredients are mixed. Then we will pop it into the fridge for an hour.
1 hour later.
Now, before we get our bruschetta mix out the fridge, we are going to sort out our toast. Now, I bought myself a really nice posh loaf of bread for this. However, just slices of Warburton's white is fine too. Then we are going to pop it in the toaster. I like mine to be still a little bit white but a bit crunchy. Then we will take our bruschetta out of the fridge and get ready to pop it on our bread. So I just took a teaspoon and I popped a little bit on both slices of toast. You can add as much or as little as you like. It all depends on how you like it. This was the final product, guys, and now I'm going to have a taste test. And I can tell you, it tasted absolutely amazing. I could not recommend it more. It made me do a little boogie around the kitchen. It was so good. If you have any recipe suggestions, please pop them in the comments. Have a lovely day. Thanks for watching. Bye.